Hello, good morning. Here from Linz, from the Ars Electronica Center in our deep space for our media information about the highlight of the year of Ars Electronica, the results of Prix Ars Electronica. As you might know, Prix Ars Electronica is the oldest, most rich in tradition award for digital art. It was founded in 1987 as one of the important steps of the development of Ars Electronica as a platform for art, technology and society. It has been growing tremendously since then, and with all the different categories, it's really one of the best possibilities to look very deep into the recent developments of media art, of digital art, of art and technology. We can see all the emerging trends. We can see how artists respond to the big conflicts that we discuss in society. And that's really a wonderful instrument that we can perfectly use every year also to build up the program for the festival. More details about this year's Prix Ars Electronica are coming now from Veronika Liebl, the head of festival and Prix Ars Electronica. Please give us the numbers.
Absolutely. Before we're going into announcing this year's winners, I have a couple of really impressive facts, figures, and numbers. The Prix Ars Electronica 2025 received a total of 3,987 submissions from 80 countries, spread across 4 competition categories. The projects were awarded in these 4 categories, each with 1 Golden Nica, receiving up to 10,000 euros in prize money. Additionally, in each category, we have 2 awards of distinctions and several honorary mentions. And in the Uniting category, Great Your World, we also have a couple of special prizes, in particular linked to the age groups of under 14, under 12, and under 10. What is really particularly exciting this year is that we have received a plus in submissions, a quite extensive plus of submissions in all 4 categories, the largest being in U19 with a plus of 43% in comparison to last year, followed by the new animation art category with a plus of 23%, 19% in artificial life and intelligence, and 16% in digital music and sound art. This year again, as also in the previous years, we also had a couple of special prizes. This year, particularly 2 special prizes. One, the Ars Electronica Award for Digital Humanity, which was selected based on all the submissions of the Prix Ars Electronica, as well as the Starts Prize and Starts Prize Africa, and co-organized with the European or the Austrian Ministry for European and International Affairs. And the second special prize was the Isao Tomita Special Prize, which was selected based on the category of digital music and sound art, donated by the Tomita Information Hub with a prize money of 5,000 euros. This award honors, of course, also the lifetime achievement of the electronic music pioneer Isao Tomita, who made this legendary performance in 1984 at the SoundCloud here in Linz. Additionally, we hosted also European prizes again this year with the Starts Prize Africa, and the European Union Prize for Citizen Science, which were already released, and we are informed about the winners already back in June. But in total, together with all these prizes, Ars Electronica issued this year a total of 220,000 euros in prize money. Now, I have this tremendous joy, but also a challenge of introducing all the jury members who supported us, these brilliant minds, experts from all across the globe, who pre-selected already together with our team, and then came together in Linz for 4 very, very intensive days on deliberately choosing the winners of the 4 categories this year. In the jury of the new animation art category, the following experts were involved: Ari Melanciano, researcher and theorist in technology, active at NYU and MIT Media Lab. Ayung Kim, winner of the Golden Nica in 2023 and globally renowned Korean media artist. Boris Eldagsen, the photographer and media artist who really sparked globally also a debate on AI-generated images. Eduardo Reyes, who is a professor of digital culture at the University Paris 8 and a board member of ICEA International, as well as Lisa Rosenthal, who is a curator of Venice Immersive at the Venice Biennial and the producer of award-winning XR content. Likewise, also 5 jury members, as in all the categories, joined us in the Artificial Life and Intelligence category. Clemens Apprich, Vice Director for Research and Digitality at the University of Applied Arts in Vienna. Tamar Clark-Braun, Curator at the Serpentine Gallery. Charlotte Chavez, bioartist, researching artificial embryos. Spela Petric, media artist, also with a scientific background. And Simon Wecker, the digital satirist and also an artist known probably the Ars Electronica audience for his project Google Maps Hacks. In the digital musics and sound art category, the jury consisted of Miriam Ackermann, sound artist, professor at the Free University in Berlin, Dietmar Lupfer, artistic director at the Muffatwerk in Munich, Camilla Metwali, artistic director of Merz Music in Berlin, Ali Nikrang, AI researcher and musician here at the Ars Electronica Future Lab and professor also in Munich, and now Tokui, DJ artist and AI developer, by the way, also with exhibitions in the MoMA and the Barbican Center. And to wrap up this long list of experts around the globe, also the juries from the Uniting category Creative World, Vivian Bausch, filmmaker and winner of the Karl Mayer Screenplay Prize 2024, Claria Donat, saxophonist and co-founder of a Vienna-based interdisciplinary music venue, Jan Grünwald, professor at the Mozarteum and expert on youth cultures, Katharina Hof, art mediator at the ÖAD, and Connie Lee, radio presenter at FM4 and expert on gaming and youth culture. Who of all these experts did the category selection and who they finally selected will now be disclosed in the first category by Gerfried.
Of course, and we start with one of the oldest categories of Prix Ars Electronica. What started as computer animation in 1987 is now our category for new animation art. And I think at the moment we are quite in a similar situation than in the late 80s. It's a very early time of new technological tools really giving opportunities and possibilities to artists that for a very long time couldn't even be imagined. And what was once the achievement of even, get images animated and moving is of course something now that is, with the click of a finger, you can produce every possible image that you can imagine. And again, I think this puts up very strongly the question of the relevance of technologies in art and the relevance also of computer animation, not just as a technical discipline, but foremost of artistic discipline. And I think for the jury, this, of course, was a very big discussion this year. And you might be surprised that the project that was selected actually fits into a category that is called new animation art, because it's an installation, it's a robot, it's a lot of software doing many different things. And foremost, of course, it's a very new type, expansion of the idea of animation. And the project is by Frode Olereit and Thomas Kwan, and we have a wonderful video explaining Requiem for Exit.
I stand here, a relic amidst the digital chaos, a custodian of memories, emotions, and thoughts that have wrought havoc and devastation across the ages. The horrors I speak of is not just a product of modern wars and environmental cataclysms. It is the horror of realizing that within us lies an abyss capacity for destruction. But this time, it's not a napalm-hazed river in Vietnam. It's the digital streams, the melting ice, the burning forests. And the horror is the realization that we are the initiators of our own extermination. So don't judge me. Don't judge me. Are we not all refugees, imprisoned within the shadows of our DNA? Are we not victims, enslaved within a concentration camp called the human genome?
Yes, I think really big congratulations for this wonderful Golden Nica, the prize winner this year. What might be also interesting to know is they are working with this idea already since 1994. So it's this constant endeavor to really explore the boundaries, the intertwinings between human and machine, between robot and software. And I think this is really a masterpiece for which they got the Golden Nica. And the next category, now Veronika again, please.
We're playing a bit of ping pong. The Golden Nica in digital music and sound art goes to Navid Nawab and Garnet Willis for their exceptional project Organism. At the heart of this project is a robotically prepared historical pipe organ that frees itself completely from the traditional patterns of sacred music, but rather allows really for natural soundscapes, also partly uncontrollable soundscapes. With this project, the artists also want to question the times in which we live, in particular times where we want to control everything, where we measure everything, where also we want to predict everything from the environment to our own behavior. And with this project, they want to go in a completely opposite direction, but rather invite us actually to embrace the uncontrollable, to embrace chaos rather than fear. Organism is a poetic comment to exactly that, to embrace also collaboration with the unpredictable instead of fearing it. It's also a comment on the bridge between past and the future, between a historical pipe organ and the robotic elements. Before we start the video, just one note, everything you hear is entirely acoustic. Of course, the instrument, as I said, is robotically prepared, but the sounds itself you hear are made entirely from the air coming from the pipes, as well as the physical process behind. Enjoy the video. Congratulations to Navid Nawab and Garnet Willis for this really exceptional work. I would like to briefly introduce the two brilliant creators behind this project. Navid Nawab was born 1986 in Tehran, now lives and works in Montreal, describes themselves as an interdisciplinary composer working always at the intersection of art and science. Their work was already exhibited various times also at the festival and brings quite often also machines to life. For this specific project, Navid paired up with Garnet Willis, a Canadian interdisciplinary artist, sound engineer, and instrument maker. Together, they spent over 6 years in studying and researching every single material, every single pipe, because at the heart of this project, as you saw in the video, is a historical pipe organ, more than 100 years old, from 1910, retrieved from a protected building in Montreal, built by one of the oldest organ companies in North America, and then completely reinterpreted. The artists robotically, digitally prepared it. They modified also the air channels and deliberately actually chose to remove the pneumatic stabilization, which usually creates this very, very clean noise in organs or sound in organs, and rather actually wanted to embrace through getting rid of these stabilization elements the uncontrollable sounds, also more natural soundscapes, and what they call also acoustic chaos. The pipes are driven or influenced by air modules, which vary the air pressure in the pipes and so stimulate also the different pipe sounds. Navid worked many, many years really on understanding each single sound property of the pipes. They created a modular instrument, so the setup you saw here is just one of the setups possible, combining, of course, also different pipes into different setups, and they use even also smaller ones of these pipes in live performances, interactive elements as flutes. In the video, you saw also the second element next to the big organ, which is a robot-controlled triple pendulum called excitable chaos. Here, 3 pendular arms rotate and create completely different movement patterns, and this movement, as the artists say, create their own little universe of rhythm and randomness, and that's why they called it excitable chaos. The pendulum is influencing the air supply of the organ, and thus this also principle of randomness, this principle of rhythm, this principle also of chaos becomes the compositional principle. The instrument is not played, I would say, in a traditional sense of playing an instrument, but really brought to life by this factor of chaos, turbulence, gravity, and instability. That's what makes also Organism such a fantastic project. That was what the jury honored, particularly, of course, embracing this chaos, embracing also nature as an element, raising also the question of how can we use technology without dominating nature, how can we work with the material rather than against it. And the jury was particularly impressed, of course, by this aspect in combination with the technical precision of the organ, and because it also promotes a new form of listening, where the listeners, the audiences also are getting in a state of an open form of listening with potential space, allowing potential space also for blurriness and randomness. This is exactly what listeners can also observe at the concerts during Ars Electronica, starting already at the big opening at the 3rd of September. Navid Nawab will play actually one of the concerts in the framework of this year's Ars Electronica in the Mariendom in the St. Mary's Cathedral in Linz. We're very much looking forward to that, and congratulations once more. We'll continue with the next winner.
And here I think it's important not only to introduce the winner, but also the category, which has a quite bustling name. We call it Artificial Life and Intelligence. And I think you have seen already in these first two choices by the juries the importance of embodiment and connecting the digital world with the physical world. Robots, kinetic installations are suddenly on top of the interest, and really interesting works and achievements are going on here. And I think it's really significant that after many years now of this hype and also this upheaval of what artificial intelligence can do, most of it, of course, was behind the screen. Most of it is pure software. And getting it out, connecting it with the physical realities also means, of course, connecting it with our life. And this is the idea between artificial life and intelligence. It's not considered to be a category for artificial intelligence. Also not just a category for, let's say, life art, bioengineering, and this kind of super interesting artistic work, but to find the essence of these two directions of artistic work and endeavor, this connection between technology in what matter ever it appears to us, and of course humanity, human life, our individual experiences. And so also the prize-winning project of this category is again a robot. A robot is the protagonist of this project. The robot is called Guanaca Rex. In the video it will be explained what the name actually means. And the interesting thing here is, of course, is this extension of the work into a historic, geopolitical and societal dimension. By reaching out into the history of Latin America liberation movement, we suddenly get a wonderful metaphor for one of the big challenges of our time, of course, which is this, digital imperialism of our time. So please have a look at this wonderful project. Paula Gaetano Adi is an Argentinian artist. She, I think for very good reason, refers to herself as interdisciplinary artist. I think that's the best description of her work. And the historic episode that this project refers to is a march above the Andes from Argentina into Chile that happened more than 200 years ago as one of the very important activities and actions of the Latin American liberation to liberate Chile. And this is where she refers to in her march with the robot, with all these traditional elements that she has interwoven into his work. And I think this is really this exciting connection. And I'm in particular also excited that Paula Gaetano Adi got this prize because we had her here in Linz already almost 10 years ago as a young artist, emerging artist for the Future Innovator Summit. And once again, congratulations to Paula Gaetano Adi. Froni, please, the next one.
I'm continuing with the Uniting Create Your World category, which is this year an absolutely impressive look into the next generation. It surprised us, it surprised very much also the jury. Not only because of the sheer quantity of submissions, but actually factually really very much because of the outstanding quality and the in-depth content submitted this year. You can really feel and see also based on the selection that this is not the generation which is just consuming content, but very much actually questioning what they see, also opening up big reflections on our time and a generation who wants to actively shape also the future together. At the selection this year, you can see many tendencies, in particular around media consumption, screen time, also the digital overload, in particular connected to TikTok content, to deepfakes, to cat videos, but also to the horror of live streams from war zones. Next to this big representation this year, there were many topics represented dealing, for example, with toxic gender roles, with war, radicalization, political participation and democracy. As always, also represented in Uniting, of course, environmental topics, energy topics this year as well, and of course, social responsibility. One work that really stood out to the jury is the winner's work of Alexa Jovic and Nico Pflügler, called in German Das Ziegenkäse machen aus der Sicht der Ziege, somehow translatable more or less with making goat cheese from the goat's perspective. This cryptic three-part film is an abstract and visually extremely loaded statement on media consumption, media overload, also the emptiness in digital spheres, uses many meme references, TikTok aesthetics, also to deconstruct the logic of the sensory overload of social media, and through this always also puts basically a mirror to us as spectators and visitors in trying to force us also to more self-reflection. We've prepared a small excerpt of the video.
Mein Name ist Gilbert und ich weiß von nichts. Der Himmel über meinem Kopf hatte die Farbe eines Fernsehers, der auf einen toten Kanal gestellt war. Ich weiß es noch genau so, als wär's gestern gewesen. Am Vortag hatte ich Hodenkrämpfe. Komischerweise erotisch. Ein menschliches Leben ist nur das Papier wert, auf dem es gedruckt wurde. Nicht mehr und nicht weniger. Deshalb sammle ich Druckerpapier. Früher dachte ich immer, die Umwelt würde den Menschen schaffen. Die Realität aber sieht anders aus. Meine Mutter hat mir immer gesagt, das Leben ist wie eine Schachtel Pralinen. In Plastik eingeschweißt und hitzeempfindlich. Was sie aber vergessen hat, wenn man andere mit so großen Augen ansieht, fühlt man sich oft so klein.
Congratulations to Alexa and Nico. Both are 19, both are former students of the HBLA for Künstlerische Gestaltung for Artistic Design in Linz. Nico is a screenwriter, actor, and artist. Alexa, also an artist, a mural artist, and also a video maker. Together, they form the collective or duo Gilbert Knoos Productions, a creative team which satirically describes themselves on their website as producers of godless cinematic crashes. In the video, you saw a young man becoming an object. His body is fitted with an udder from which a slimy liquid is constantly squeezed out. Pain, pleasure, all in nation merge here with this endless production unit, which they try to critique, try to reflect on through these radical visuals you saw, trying also to reflect on this endless production fancy, on, of course, the submission to systems, also the emptiness in our media and consumption culture. The film surprises from the very first second to the last seconds. Even after the perceived credits, there is another climax, a grotesque reflection also on the self-marketing in digital spheres and on particular, of course, on social media. The jury was absolutely impressed, and I want to just read out the short statement from their deeply excitement about the movie. It's a post-modern film that celebrates, deconstructs, and reassembles the medium in such a way that you can hardly keep up, and that's the point. Between slow cinema and meme aesthetics, between body horror and a barrage of quotes, a work emerges that shows not just what is being told, but how it can be told. A film that understands TikTok and yet remains cinema. The jury selected this art project because it's bold, it's original, it's uncompromising. It does not really fit into any category, and yet it is an extremely accurate also document of our times. It is very unconventional and tries to make us reflect on media consumption, media overload in every second of this movie. Congratulations to the both creators once more, but also congratulations to all you 19 winners in all the different categories. This year, really an outstanding selection. One more special prizes, two more special prizes.
We have two more special prizes, and this one we are very happy that we have the opportunity to give this prize away in memory of Isao Tomita. Isao Tomita was one of the most influential electronic musicians from Japan. In the 1970s, he basically created the genre, in particular with his also commercially very successful re-recordings where he was interpreting classical music on the top edge synthesizers of the 1970s, and still up to date, I think, for every aficionado of electronic music, these are really references. And the prize this year goes to Evala, a Japanese sound artist who himself is, I think, very much always on the edge of electronic music in terms of searching and exploring the boundaries of electronic music and the boundaries of our perception. And I think it's very closely related to this trend that we saw in the other categories of this quest for the core, for the essence. What is the essence of music, of sound experience, no matter whether it's mechanical, kinetic, or purely electronic. And he started this series that he calls See by Your Ears. And one of the so to say episodes of this very interesting journey and expedition into the nature of sound was awarded this year Eptide, a project that was created for the ICC in Tokyo, which is one of also, I think, the most important places in the history of media art so far, and I think we have some example of it. The prize is made possible by the estate of Isao Tomita, in particular his daughter, who is, I think, very fond of this idea of young artists really pushing the boundaries of our artistic expression and perception. And we have another special prize, and the last one for today, and Veronika will present this.
Exactly. Last but not least, next to the Golden Nicas and the Isao Tomita Award, we are also awarding the Ars Electronica Award for Digital Humanity this year for the very 5th time already, together with the Austrian Ministry for European and International Affairs. This award is especially honoring projects with social, cultural, also humanitarian dimensions of our digital societies. The award particularly also wants to see projects with a very strong collaborative dimension, of course collaborative when it comes to disciplines, but also collaborative in a way that it brings different cultures together. Here we really want to see cultural projects, artistic projects, asking fundamental questions about what it means to be human in a digital age, and this is precisely what the Grand Prize winners this year do so fantastically. The award goes to domestic data streamers with their project Synthetic Memories. Domestic Data Streamers is a collective in Barcelona combining researchers, activists, artists from many, many different disciplines. And with Synthetic Memories, they actually conducted an arts project, but also a research project that uses artificial intelligence to reconstruct the memories of people who have no visual representation of their past. The goal of the project is really to preserve the identity of the memories on the one side, but also ensure better quality of lives for the individuals who don't have these memories anymore, particularly refugees, but also people with neurodegenerative diseases and those struggling from memory loss. At the heart of this project, we have interactive element, basically interviews, where citizens from Barcelona could register for a 1-hour interview together with an interviewer and a prompter. They could tell their stories, their memories, and based on their storytelling, the prompter created short video snippets with generative AI, and through feedback, through the conversation, of course, also through more details by the interviewees, they came closer and closer to a visual representation of their memory. On the one side, this is, of course, also a project to reconnect also with the past, and on the other side, also to honor very much individual life stories. The project was exhibited also as part of an exhibition in the Design Museum in Barcelona, where audiences from across the globe could also visit objects, videos, pictures as a library of memories, diving into various different aspects also of different perspectives of memory and history. Synthetic Memories is not only an arts project, it's also a research project. The team of domestic data streamers paired up already quite a while ago in Spain, also with social workers, with neurotherapists on researching how this project can have also a positive impact on diseases, in particular dementia patients. We know from other methods, in particular those methods which use visual storytelling and visual reconstruction of memories, that this can have a positive impact on these diseases, but also very much, in fact, on the psychological and emotional well-being of patients. Since 3 years now, they also paired up with more universities, with more research organizations, including the University of Toronto, the University of Amsterdam, or the University of Southern California, to advance this research. The jury was really deeply impressed by this project and how it creates also an ethical confrontation between the subjective memory and the AI-generated content. Of course, it opens up also very important questions of what it means to be human in a digital age. How can we use these digital technologies? How can we use AI, particularly also much more to strengthen human connections, to benefit also humanity at large, instead of pure efficiency or control? And it shows also how and what the role of museums can advance to in the 21st century, becoming much more than arts institution, but really public infrastructures, in this case even infrastructures benefiting the health sector. Congratulations to this fantastic project. We have really an outstanding selection this year together, and we are already very much looking forward to the festival indeed, right?
Because these were just the top prizes of this year's Prix Ars Electronica. Each category has 2 distinctions and also up to 12 honorary mentions. Exciting projects, exciting possibility to really get a very deep and thorough insight into what's going on in art and also in society. And as I said, this is perfect material to make a festival. There will be many of these projects being shown. Veronika mentioned already the wonderful kinetic organ will be in the middle of the big church, actually the largest cathedral here in Austria. What a wonderful also opportunity to connect history and future. There will be exhibitions, there will be concerts, there will be the Prix Ars Electronica Forum where you have the chance to get in direct contact with the artists. Really wonderful opportunity. And if you have any questions, come to the festival September 3 to September 7, and thank you very much for your attention.